productivity within Europe, productivity converged. But precisely because globalization was a European and American phenomenon, so this first globalization was actually an Atlantic economy process. So that if you take worldwide GDP convergence, it actually doesn't take place. It's a globalization that is confined to one huge, important to us area of the world, but it's not really true globalization in the sense that most of mankind did not participate. So I anticipate you to say, well, okay, so the globalization we have been living in the last 20 years or so is the first real, true globalization that mankind has experienced in all this long history I've covered in such a short time. Price convergence is due to cheap grains coming to Europe. It's due to capital chasing higher returns. So the English were flooding the world with their capital. Wage dispersion declined in all these countries. In the absence of mass migration, which was globalization, would not have been as rapid, and price convergence would not have been as really colossal as it was. Now, big question, why was globalization then destroyed? It was such a big bonus, prices were converging, wages were converging, capital was moving, and then globalization, be careful because this is a lesson for today. Globalization contained the seeds of its own destruction. And why was it so fragile? Because of income distribution. When we say that everybody profits from trade, that the world as a whole profits from trade, there are those who profit a lot, those who profit very little, and some actually who lose. This is very simple economic theory. Unskilled workers, income distribution became more equal in Europe because unskilled workers gain more than everybody else. They gain on two counts because the price of the goods they buy, Marx would call them wage goods, grains, food, decrease because you have cheap grains from America and from Russia. Also, their wage go up because so many unskilled workers leave Southern Europe or Ireland or Germany, that in those days, particularly Eastern Germany, was an underdeveloped area that was an area also of immigration. All these unskilled people leaving, you raised it. So everybody's happy. Of course, the unskilled, the skilled, sorry, there is a mistake. Unskilled workers are the loser at the other end of the spectrum. Because you have so many unskilled workers coming in America that they depress. Now, what is the reaction? Why there is it in both areas? Now, in America, you will see all these people coming in. Unskilled workers are unhappy. They vote against globalization. But why would people be unhappy in Europe? Actually, they were, again, institutions. Two different institutional settings make for a globalization backlash, both in the Americas and in Europe. What's the trick? In America, you already have universal suffrage, male. So all the males vote. Now, this is a big number of people who are hurt. Each new wave of globalization comes on the shoulders of the previous one. So the Irish are upset about the Italians coming in because they depress the weight of the Irish. Well, the Irish would go to the congressmen, since they all have the power to vote, to say, let's stop globalization. And there are beginning of actions in America before World War I to try and make globalization more difficult. For instance, the literacy tests. Why in Europe? In Europe, everybody should be happy. Yes, but in Europe, those who gained from globalization did not vote. So all those who are happy did not have a voice. In Europe, the franchise, as it's called, was restricted to 2, 3. England, it was more advanced, had about 30% of the population with the right to vote.